views expressed on this program are those of the hosts, guests, and callers, and are not necessarily those of this station, its management, or other advertisers. You're listening to Transformation Talk Radio.
Hi, welcome. This is Dr. John DeMartini. This is one of the most amazing and inspiring shows that you can listen into. If you want to be on the edge of your seats, if you want to open up your heart, if you want to expand your mind, and you want to meet incredible people, stay tuned because you're just about to experience a transformative radio show that will change your life. And you're listening to the Dr. Pat Show that's coming up right next.
Welcome to the Dr. Pat Show. Talk radio to thrive by. Powerful, inspiring, and coming to you live, bringing you stories of people like you and me busting through and living life full out. Get ready to dare to wonder what your life would be like if you knew you could not fail. Hey, everybody. Welcome. I want to welcome you to the Dr. Pat Show. You heard me say this is different without the headphones.
Is it kind of weird?
Because it's a little weird. You have your headphones on, right?
I wear them 24/7, even in bed.
You do. And today we're live in studio with, Mark Anthony.
Right.
But that's because I'm in the studio, and Linda says, you better be foofing your hair.
Frou-frou?
Foof your hair.
Your hair
otherwise, I don't
perfectly
foof.
foofed.
I don't do the foof in the hair. So usually I have it straight down, and it looks like Julius Caesar with dye.
It looks good.
That's what my hair
good.
usually looks like. Do you like it all foofed? Product.
Well, check out the webcam. You'll be able to get a shot right there of it.
Yeah. I went to my eye doctor yesterday, and we did not make an adjustment on all of this so that I could actually even see that yet. You know, we made other adjustments on all of this. Wow, everybody. Mark Anthony, 2 hours in the studio. I love it. Now, for those of you that are like, wow, who is Mark Anthony? What are we doing? Here's what we're doing. Everything. We're doing everything today. We already laughed hilarious. Is that my phone? Look at this. What did you talked about calling Columbia?
Phone.
Who's Laureate Education? Wow. What are you calling into the show here? My goodness. Already. What? Mark Anthony joining me here today. For those of you that know a little bit about him, let me tell you a lot about him. You know, in life, each of us gets to make decisions. What do I even mean about that? So we think maybe we're going to grow up and we think we're going to go in a certain direction and we have an idea about what we're going to be. And mostly for most of us, if you grew up in my family, you had an idea of what you were not going to be. You know, you knew you were not going to be. You knew you were not going to go to college. You knew you were not going to have a big job. You knew you were not. This has really been the family script. But here we are in life. And sometimes the world of possibility shows up whether we want it to or not. And when it does, the question mark really does become, how do we respond to it? How do we respond to it? How does somebody that goes to law school and studies law, goes to the bar, takes the bar exam, gets off in the world and says, yep, I have got my fancy shoes and here I am, I'm like a lawyer now. You know, what happens when he gets touched on the shoulder by something that you cannot see, but in his case probably could? And your life goes in another direction. What is it when you get to step out into the world and now you're the psychic lawyer? Maybe. But here's what it's about. It's about stepping out in life and being somebody that is a practicing medium who not only communicates with spirits, but is also somebody that understands the practicality of living life. This is what's so cool about this. You know, it's one thing to be sitting up on a mountain and be touched by God or touched by angels and then live almost in the afterlife as you are on this planet. But it really is another thing to be of this world and to blend what it means to be of this world with what it means to be of being out of or after this world. And this is what all of us are hungry for now. You know, we're hungry for the blending of lines. You know, we're hungry for this idea in living in the realm of intuition and psychic, I call them psychic hits. But how do we learn to do this in our day-to-day, everyday life? And what is the end game for this? You know, what if we were only given 10% of our brain to use so that we wouldn't logically think ourselves to death? What if we were given 10% of our brain so that the other 90% could be to explore that which we cannot see? Well, I'll tell you, that's an interesting question, that and much more. Today, we're going to revisit maybe some of our childhood. Both of us have a few things in common. But, you know, here we are with somebody that has shown up in the world to help other people shine their light very brightly. His book, for those of you that are perhaps watching the cam, Evidence of Eternity, Communicating with Spirits, the Proof of the Afterlife, Mark Anthony, the psychic lawyer, is just a fragment of what Mark has been called to do. And what I mean by fragment is that each of us have a gigundo calling. It's huge. And if we can touch upon and one single iota of what we are to be in service of, it becomes this lifetime. Today, as I said before, we are opening up phone lines now. We're taking callers. Boom. 1-800-930-2819. And if you want to follow us and watch us, you can go to thedrpatshow.com and you can see a special video presentation of what's going on live in here. You can watch me drink my coffee in a cup or water, or you can watch us laugh our butts off because we got a couple of clips once we start to talk about our childhood that will rock you thanks to the magic of Mr. Benny, who is not on camera because he doesn't have the camera pointing to him. Say hi.
I just said hi with my hand.
Okay, good. So maybe what I'll have to do is I'll probably put you on my little video, turn my computer around. Mark, welcome to the show. It's great to have you here.
Thanks, Dr. Pat. It's great being back, and it's nice being in studio with you finally.
Isn't that cool?
It is great.
So what did you think about some of the things I said? I mean, you know, for me, what I look at is what have we been called to do in the world where we get to blend? You know, we get to blend the lines of what we think we should be and what we're called to be. How did that work for you?
I think what it proves is that no matter what you plan in life, life has something else in store for you. And the way I look at it is I'm kind of in a kayak, and I used to try to paddle against the stream, and I've learned that you go with the stream. And sometimes there's white water and rapids. Occasionally there's waterfalls, like when you lose a loved one, which is just devastating.
Yeah.
And then there's calm, cool waters and shimmering vistas, and you never know what's going to happen. So, you know, I was born into a family of psychics, but I never figured that I would be touring the country talking about life after death and being a best-selling author. So I've learned to go with the flow, I guess.
Well, I want to ask you about that question because, you know, you grew up in a family of psychics.
Yes.
What did they think when you went off to be a lawyer?
They were very supportive. I think my dad really.
What did they really think, though, Mark?
What did they really think? Well, when people say, "Oh, you're born in a family of psychics," my dad was a NASA engineer.
Oh, yeah.
My mom was a commercial artist, a mom, a homemaker. We were the family next door. It's not like, we're going around doing readings or reading palms or anything like that. We just had these abilities which have run in the family. And my parents were very supportive about me going to law school. Mom said, though, trust your intuition. So she knew it would be very important as part of my skill set. You
know, I have an attorney for a thing I'm going through, and I know she's intuitive, and I got to tell you, I'm so glad she is. I mean, because I don't even understand how we can function in the world today and today's technology and all of that without a bit of intuition. And I would love for you to talk about that for a little bit because, you know, what I said before was kind of, you know, for me, really super important to bring to the forefront. If I had to count on everything in my logical linear brain, honestly, Mark, I would get absolutely zero done. Zero done. You know, the reason I haven't been able to come into studio is because we've been doing experimentation with technology on how to bring a different level of medium to the listeners. But most of it is really our intuitive hit. How do we function in this world of high tech not going away if we're not a little bit?
That's a really great question. And right now we're living in like you said, in this high-tech age. Remember before we had caller ID and cell phones and the phone would ring? How many times do people say, oh, that's Aunt, Martha calling, or that's my friend Carl calling? You pick up the phone and it was that person. And what that shows is that we all have intuitive ability, we all have precognitive ability, and we all have this energetic interconnection. But with our advances in technology, now technology has supplanted these innate abilities, and so we're relying more on it instead of trusting our gut. And you are wise to have selected an attorney who is using her intuitive feelings, because despite the technology, when it comes down to it, what do you trust more? Some device made in China or the device within you made by God?
I know this is what we're going to talk about today. Why is it we don't do that? Julie, I know you're waiting on the phone, honey. I'll tell you what, as soon as we come back from break, we're going to plug you in. We have opened up the phone lines. As a matter of fact, we have also opened up instant messaging, but I haven't talked to Mark as to whether or not we actually can do that. But for those of you that do not call into the show, we know that you go to the Dr. Pat Show or Transformation Talk Radio and you type your questions in there. Just keep go ahead and doing that, and I'll let Mark Anthony figure that out. Yeah. When we come back, what is it about the people that have moved on that just want to chat with us? What is it that scares us so much about that? How can we have a conversation that, I'm going to say it because we're going to talk about it, that actually may save our lives? We're going to take a short break, Mr. Benny. We have help, though, answering phones today.
We do. Rachel's here.
No kidding.
Mm-hmm.
Hi, Rachel. How are you? Say hi to Rachel when you call in, everybody. 1-800-930-2819. We'll be right back.
Hi, I'm Tim Darter.
And I'm Steve Kramer.
Join us on Spirit Fire Radio. Discover how to add the mechanics of meditation to your day.
And watch yourself connect in a whole new way. Find the amazing moments in life's routines that often pass us by. Add to your awareness with Spirit Fire Radio.
Tune in each Wednesday at 9 a.m. for your weekly guide to practical mindfulness. And to learn more, visit www.spiritfireradio.com.
My dream is to end homelessness.
My passion is living a green life.
My dream is to end poverty.
My passion is volunteering.
My passion is making a difference.
My dream is to cure Lyme disease.
My passion is rebuilding communities.
My passion is helping those in need.
My passion is caring for the elderly.
My dream is to find a cure for cancer.
My dream is to leave a better world for my children.
We all have that special passion, that lifelong dream that drives us to live our lives with meaning and to create a better world. No matter what drives you, we can all make an impact. Dr. Pat Basili is helping others make their dreams come true, so we can all help make our world a better world.
To learn more about how Dr. Pat is building a community of sharing hope, strength, funds, knowledge, and information, visit abetterworldcrowdfunding.com today. That's abetterworldcrowdfunding.com.
Holistic Medical Center is where you find it all. A healthy space with doctors who care, see, and listen to the whole you. During the month of October, Dr. Darvish and the Holistic Medical team are promoting Breast Cancer Awareness Month with 25% off breast thermography. Safe, painless, radiation-free, and accurate. Purchase your breast thermography screening for 25% off now until October 31st to receive this special. Visit drdarvish.com or call 425-451-0404. Do you want to transform your life's trauma and challenges into the gift that your life was meant to be? It's time for you to take control of your soul journey to heal, grow, and shine. Manifest your destiny with Wendy Wolf, soul transformer, energy, and psychic healer. To start your soul journey, contact Wendy at healgrowshine.com or email Wendy at wendy@wendyrwolf.com and start your adventure today.
How would you like increased health and vitality? How would you like to avoid the onset of disease as well as slow the aging process? This is all possible through a simple, safe, and natural process. Every day we are either moving toward wellness or away from wellness.
Hi, I'm Mary Jane Mack. I'd like to be your partner in achieving optimal health. Contact me now at maryjanemack.com or call 425-392-0659. Visit maryjanemack.com.
Hey, everybody, welcome back. Super duper. I am so excited. Mark Anthony in studio, 2 hours, and we have opened up the phone lines, 1-800-930-2819. For those of you that are not able to call in, of course, you're pinging me already. Thank you for doing that. I so appreciate it. I'll make sure I get your stuff right up there on air. Questions for Mark, questions about the book. If you want to experience what we're getting ready to experience here in a minute, you can get to do that live and in person, because there's a reason that Mark is in the studio and is in the greater Seattle area. And I'm going to kick it up to Rocky right now. Rocky, take it away.
East West Books. Mark will be there this Friday at 7:30 p.m. at 6407 12th Avenue Northeast. And to get tickets, just call 206-523-3726. East West Books, Friday evening, 7 p.m.
All right, Mark, tell us what you're going to be doing there. Because I think people... I think there's this mystery around, when I say we got the psychic lawyer joining us here today, people are like, what is he going to do? Well, I'll tell you, I want to have an attorney that is a psychic. But what are you doing at East West?
I'm a psychic medium, so I'll be talking about the afterlife. I'll be discussing some of the concepts in my new book, Evidence of Eternity, and I'll be connecting audience members with their loved ones in spirit. So when people call in today, I'm not a marriage counselor, okay? I don't give love life, career, and traditional psychic readings. I connect people with their loved ones on the other side. And in these mini readings that we're going to be doing today, I try to do one spirit per person, no crowding. It may not be the person that you want. In other words, one of the examples I give Dr. Pat is, let's say you really want to talk to your Aunt Martha. Aunt Martha may not be the first person to come through. Cousin Carl or, Uncle Bob may come through.
Uncle Bobby.
Uncle Bobby.
Uncle Bobby. I was just thinking of Uncle Bobby when you just said that, dude. Are you kidding? Uncle Bobby. He always wanted to take up the whole arena.
There you go.
But I'm glad you said that because, look, I'm not saying we're all control freaks or anything like that for the moment. But what I'm trying to say is sometimes you get exactly what you're supposed to get when you're supposed to get it. Isn't that really the nature of some of this?
It is. And when a spirit comes in, I'll see things, hear things, and feel things. I may get a visual on them. I may get physical characteristics. I will feel how the person died. Different medical conditions and causes of death have a similar sensation to me. For example, like a jolt to my head could be head trauma, stroke, aneurysm, but that's also how I get a quick passing because I get this jolt sensation. So I'll give a description, and then I'll get a message for the person. And what I've found in the 10,000-plus readings that I've conducted, things that come through don't always immediately make sense to the recipient. And, for example, the other day I was doing a reading for a woman on the telephone, and she lives in the Tampa Bay area in Florida. And during the reading, I kept saying, I'm seeing something about a tornado. Something about, were you ever in a tornado? I'm getting this tornado. She says, no, I can't think of that. I'm not sure what that means. 2 hours later, I get this phone call from her. She goes, oh, my God, there's a tornado in Tampa Bay, a water spout. And I turned on the news, and surely there was. So it's not that I, predict weather and catastrophic things, but something may come up that does not immediately make sense, which later on will.
I love it. Let's go to the phones, Mr. B.
All right, we'll take Julie calling in from Minnesota. Julie, welcome to the show.
Hey, Julie.
Hi, Dr. Pat.
How are you?
Doing okay. I'm trying to see if anything comes in. My mother-in-law recently passed away 3 weeks ago.
Hold on. If you try not to give me any facts, because I want to see who comes through. All right, now there is a woman coming through. Now, this may or may not be your mother-in-law. This could be another female attached to you. But what I'm getting, Julie, is this shock sensation to my chest. And the interesting thing is that it's occurring on either side of my sternum, and I'm also getting a nauseated sensation. Now, nausea can indicate to me that she was having difficulty holding down food prior to passing. Nausea is also one of my cancer indicators, because what I'm getting with her is that prior to passing, she was quite ill. I'm getting a dizzy sensation in my head, which is indicating difficulty for her maintaining focus and mental clarity. And this can be due not only to the condition, but also to medication. And I'm feeling with her that her passing was not a quick event. It was a long, slow process where I feel a draining sensation through her. And I'm also feeling a vacillating between sweating and cold chills. And honestly, this woman was ready to go. She had had enough. Does this make sense to you?
it makes sense. I just want to know if she's okay because we couldn't talk to her. All of a sudden,
Okay.
she went unconscious.
Okay, hold on. Well, she had, I'm feeling a pain in my foot, so she may have been having some circulation issues and a lot of problems physically and circulation issues. So we're establishing that this is her, and you want to find out if she's okay, all right? Did she like musicals and plays and comedies? Because I keep getting images of that.
Yes.
Is that a yes?
Yes.
I realize this is difficult. Just got to speak up a tad. Okay.
Okay.
All right, because what she's doing is a spirit is pure consciousness, and so what she's doing is she's emitting waves of frequency at me, and within those waves there's several bits of information which can help not only identify who she is, but to convey messages. And the funny thing is, do you remember that play, that Broadway show called The Producers? Do you remember that?
Yes, I do.
Okay, she keeps showing me clips from that, and she's laughing and laughing, and what she wants you to know is that she is totally, totally free of any illness, any pain, any problem. And I keep tasting a lot of alcohol. Now, I'm not suggesting that she was an alcoholic, but I'm tasting things like, pure grain alcohol. Does alcohol or alcoholism make sense to her or to you or someone close to you in some way?
Only to her.
Only to her. So that's a yes.
Yeah.
Okay. She said that problem...
not to her, specifically her parents were alcoholics.
Her parents were alcoholics. Okay. She wants you to know that the pain caused by the alcoholism is gone. Okay? Is gone. And it's so funny because I keep hearing... and I think something like this came up earlier today. I can see clearly now the rain has gone. I keep hearing this. And I feel her standing outside in this crispy, chilly, perfect environment. And the funny thing is she's wearing this old, worn-out beige sweater. Does this make any sense?
Yes.
I'm sorry, not yet? Yeah, I want you to...
Yes, it does.
Yes, it does.
Yes, it does.
Yeah.
Okay,
She's
okay.
like, yeah.
Yes.
You're a little shocked by some of this, aren't you, right now? Right?
I am. I am because she couldn't see for 20 years almost.
Oh, my gosh.
Right.
I can see clearly now the rain has gone. You see, and that's the beauty of when messages come in, excuse me, there's many levels of significance to it. And what you're going to find is after the reading, and in Evidence of Eternity, I write about multiple meaning messages, how a piece of information can have several levels of significance. She is jumping up and down, and she's talking about Jack or Jackie. Does this make any sense?
Not right now.
All right, write down Jack or Jackie because she's doing jumping jacks. That's how I'm getting that. And she's holding
I got Jack in the Box. Why did I get Jack in the Box?
Jack in the Box.
Does Jack in the Box ring anything with you? Jack in the Box?
Not yet.
Mm-hmm. Do you know what a Jack in the Box is?
Yes.
Not the eating place, right? Not the place you go to eat. The thing where you turn.
Pop goes the weasel. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, she keeps doing that. And she's holding up a bowl of jelly beans, particularly the green jelly beans. Now, jelly beans can mean a lot of things, but generally that indicates the Easter time frame, which for me would be between March 10th and April 20th. So there could be a significant birthday, anniversary, or event connected to you or to her within that time frame. And I keep getting that lime jelly bean flavor, and she's just giggling and giggling. This woman is so absolutely happy right now.
I'm so happy because, like I said, we didn't get to talk to her. So all of a sudden she just went unconscious and died 10 days later.
Yeah, and so that's earlier when I was talking about how her passing, the dizziness, disorientation, difficulty maintaining mental clarity, and her passing was a long, slow, because 10 days is an awfully long time, especially for the loved ones watching this. But I want to concentrate on an event between March 10th and April 20th, significant birthdays, anniversaries, or events connected you to her or to somebody close to you. And if that doesn't,
think of one.
Yeah, that's fine. Chances are that's going to make sense later on. I want you to write that down and focus on that. And there's something about that lime, sweet lime, like lemony lime flavor that just makes her so happy. It could be key lime pie or something like, with that. Hold on, let me get one final message. Okay, now, I know that we're in the month of October. I know people are decorating for Halloween and all that, but she keeps on showing me pumpkins, pumpkins, pumpkins. So there is a significant event toward, let's say between October 20th and November 7th that she's targeting, and that could be connected with you or her, and she wants this to be a happy time. Does this make sense?
Yes, it does.
Okay, in what way? You got to realize we're on radio, so we can't see you, so you have to respond.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, my daughter and her, it was kind of special Halloween, and she was really close with my daughter, Michelle.
See,
right.
And that's why
What's Michelle's birthday?
It's June 1st.
I don't usually bop in, but did your mother, what kind of baker was she?
My mother?
Did your mother bake? Who bakes?
My mother-in-law did bake, but then she lost her eyesight. So.
Well, there you go. Okay, so Dr. Pat's in the feed here, and she's picking up on that. Okay, and the reason that your mother-in-law wants this to be a happy time for your daughter is because your daughter's crushed that she has transitioned. But instead of looking at Halloween as being a sad time, she wants her to remember all of the happy times that she had, okay? And so that's what she wants you to know. All right, May, I'm hearing, all right, I'm Catholic, so I get, or sort of kind of Catholic, and I get all sorts of imagery. I'm hearing, Hail, Holy Queen, enthroned above, O Maria. Now, that can be names like Mary, Maria, Marilyn, Margaret. Someone who was Catholic or venerated Mary, the Mother of Jesus, or a significant birthday, anniversary, or event in the month of May. Does that make sense to you?
Yes, that's my anniversary.
Bada bing,
bada
bam.
boom. Bada bing, bada bam, bada boom.
All right. Now, let me explain why that's important. When a spirit gives me a message of an explanatory or advisory nature, meaning please help your daughter look at the Halloween season as being a positive thing instead of a time to mourn the passing of her grandma, and then follows it up with an objectively verifiable fact, which is your anniversary, okay, your anniversary as into her son. So what she wants you to know is that objective fact is how she is letting you and I know that we've properly received and interpreted the message. So your role as the mom is to help her granddaughter cope with this and look at Halloween as a time to celebrate and remember the love and fun and joy that she brought into your daughter's life. And I'll leave that with you. God bless you.
Yeah. Do me a favor. Please do not hang up. I've got a question for you. Don't hang up. We're going to go to break, and I just want to ask you one little question. Phone lines are open. When we come back, Cheryl, we will be right with you. All of you out there, 1-800-930-2819. Mark Anthony joining us here today. Fabulous book, Evidence of Eternity. Now, this is something that, for me, I am one of those folks that kind of grew up really a skeptic on a lot of things. When we come back, and later on, we have 2 hours with Mark, we're going to talk about how life's devastating events may happen so that we can open up to a higher level of communication. And why? Because Mark's the expert on this stuff. Let's take a short break. Julie, hang on. We'll be right back.
Transformation Talk Radio is dedicated to the education and awareness of Lyme disease.
Hey, everybody. Welcome back to Lyme Talk Radio. I'm Dr. Pat, joined here by
Dr. Nusheen Darvish.
Dr. Pat Basili and Dr. Nusheen Darvish will be bringing the most innovative, groundbreaking information, research, treatment innovations, and stories from those it affects every day.
I'm so excited to be talking about this.
We have so much to share.
Dr. Darvish and I are planning to do is connect the dots.
People suffering with all sorts of chronic diseases, it's time. It is time for them to transform.
Tune into Lyme Talk Radio and help keep our mission strong.
For the loyal listeners out there that have been listening to this incredible show on Lyme disease, we are not going to let you down. We're going to come through stronger and enrich the platform for Lyme disease awareness through Lyme Talk Radio. The message will continue, the conversations will become stronger, and the healing epic.
What would you say if I told you that you could change your life in only 1 hour and all while lying down relaxing? Thousands of people all over the world have. What am I talking about? It's called Access Consciousness, the bars. The bars is an energetic body process that contains 32 different points on your head that, when run, assist you in releasing decisions about any area of your life that you have made solid and as a result cannot change. The bars is the first class in Access Consciousness, a dynamic set of tools and information designed to transform any area of your life. When you have a bars session, the worst that can happen is you feel like you had a fantastic massage. The best thing that can happen is your whole life could change. Go to accessconsciousness.com today to find a facilitator to schedule a private session or to find a bars class in your area. Are you willing to give yourself an hour to change your life?
If you're one of the millions of Americans suffering from anxiety, you probably know how powerless and out of control this emotion can make you feel. This is why it is so important to remember that anxiety is created by your mind, which means that you can learn to use your mind to uncreate it. Hello, my name is Dr. Friedman Schaub. My award-winning book, The Fear and Anxiety Solution, provides you with a step-by-step breakthrough process to understand and resolve the root causes of your anxiety and build a solid foundation of confidence and inner peace. If you're ready to take your power back, visit thefearandanxietysolution.com. That's thefearandanxietysolution.com, or call 866-903-6463. That's 866-903-MIND.
Yes, I can make it now. The pain is gone. All of the bad feelings have disappeared. Here is the rainbow I've been praying for.
Hey, welcome back, everyone. Mark Anthony. The phone lines are full, but please hold on, Cheryl and Linda. We are going to get to you. We asked Julie to stay on because we needed to just have a little follow-up chit-chat with her. And Mark, maybe you can, and Julie, you can fill. Mark and Julie, take it away.
All right, Julie, remember during the reading I kept picking up on lemon lime, or key lime, and then when you were on the line, you said that your mother-in-law, who's the person I'm communicating with from the other side, her son, as in your husband, that's his favorite pie, is lemon lime pie? Or key lime pie?
That's his favorite pie.
That's his favorite pie. And then Dr. Pat said, well, did you bake with your daughter? And you said, yes, my daughter and I used to bake a lot when she was younger, and lemon lime pie or key lime pie made her think of and associate with her grandmother. In other words, the woman in spirit who's communicating, correct?
Correct. That's what we did.
Exactly. Yes. And see, I'm glad that you brought this up, and I'm glad that Dr. Pat brought this up, because for the listeners and for you as well, Julie, this is how, after a reading, many times it requires a period of afterthought and reflection, because a lot of folks are a little bit nervous, or they're overwhelmed when these things come in, and then later on you start thinking, whoa, key lime pie, lemon lime, that's my husband's favorite pie. In other words, your mother-in-law, her son, your husband, she's communicating that to us. Also, this is a concept known as multiple meaning messages, which is one of the new concepts I've developed in Evidence of Eternity, which shows that one piece of information can have several levels of information. And in my study of quantum physics and in frequency, I started looking at how the military will send a message. Let's say the Pentagon sends a message to Camp Pendleton. And so there's one wave of frequency, yet encrypted on top of that, piggyback on top of that, are 5 or 6 other messages which have to be decoded. And I started realizing, my gosh, This is the nature of frequency transfer. Now, for all the folks listening to KKNW, and you should every day, especially
and WBOQ, boom.
And WBOQ. But let's say you're driving down the interstate, and all of a sudden, while you're listening to the Dr. Pat show, another show overlaps it briefly. This is frequency overlap. And the spirit world does the same thing, where several levels of information can be piggybacked on top of one transfer emission. So when this happens in a reading, it oftentimes requires folks a period of afterthought and reflection, so that now we know that lemon lime, key lime flavor, that's your son's favorite pie, okay? That's coming from his mother, so she's verifying that. You used to bake that pie with your daughter, and your daughter associates that with her grandmother. So there's at least 4 levels of significance to that one piece of information. And when you start focusing more and more on that, you're going to start seeing even more levels of significance. And that's why I created the concepts of frequency beacons and multiple meaning messages in my new book, Evidence of Eternity.
Yes. Julie, I want to say one last thing, and thank you so much for staying online. I really appreciate it. My grandmother, what I remember from my grandmother was being in the kitchen with her, learning how to cook Italian gravy, meatballs, everything about it. I can see my grandmother now, right this moment, boy, I'm going to cry. Holy crap. As if I was right there in the room with her. And so when I said to you about baking, forget about the sugar. Bake and give it to the people that are homeless. There's something about the act of baking that is so important to your daughter. I don't even understand it, actually. But there's something about you, your daughter, whoever it is that you have that baking. There's something about sharing that has nothing to do with sugar. Do you get what I'm saying, girl? Do you get it?
Yes, I do. Yes, it was very important that her and her grandma did all the Thanksgiving cooking together since she was 4 years old. She peeled potatoes. She
Bada
made
boom.
Bada bing,
pie.
bada bang. Right. So tell me, are you going to be spending Thanksgiving with your daughter?
Yes, I am, but it's going to be hard without Grandma. But she
No.
No,
tell him Grandma's here.
No, Grandma's going to be with you in spirit, and I think you ought to show up with a key lime pie.
Yeah, make this the best Thanksgiving you have had in a long time.
And you know what? Hold on, Dr. Pat.
Okay.
Earlier when you said, when we went on break, Dr. Pat said, is there some key lime thing that you put on the mixed with the pumpkin pie? The pumpkin pie signifies Thanksgiving. And so what I'm getting is, instead of bringing a pumpkin pie, rock everybody's world and bring them a key lime pie, because that's a frequency beacon. And what that means is that's your husband's favorite pie. That's what your daughter associates with her grandmother. That's what you know is going to rock everybody's world. And that's going to send a frequency beacon to your mother-in-law's spirit, which is going to draw her in at Thanksgiving. Boom. This is great.
They are
actually
hungry.
a happy
Everyone
thing.
is hungry for tradition here, Julie. It's hungry for tradition. And if you have not done this in 20 years, I'm not surprised that this voice is coming in. You know, this is the energy and the time. It is the 8th year. We just went through a 4th blood moon. You know, this is really the time to connect, reconnect, and cook your fanny off in the spirit that this woman had when she was walking the earth, because we're hungry for it, we long for it, and your daughter will want to pass that tradition on. Are you all in on this?
I'm in on this, yep.
You know,
I love
Dr.
you.
Pat.
Sorry, I just got a little emotional right there.
Dr. Pat, you just brought up something about the blood moon that I'd like to share. How much time we have for the next break?
Well, you're here for 2 hours, and we're going to skip the next break.
Okay. Recently,
Thank you, Benny.
Recently, I was on a book tour of Arizona. Now I'm on a book tour of the Seattle area, and I was privileged to be in Sedona during the blood moon. We had a flawlessly clear sky, and when I was watching the blood moon, it made me flash on a lot of things about the moon landing, because my dad was a NASA engineer. And all of a sudden I realized that throughout the course of my life, and I never put this together until this recent blood moon, I've met both Neil Armstrong and Buzz Aldrin. And when I was a kid, I was working at a hotel, and I had to carry Neil Armstrong's luggage, particularly his golf clubs, to his car, and I was shaking. I was so nervous. It was like, oh, my God, this is Neil Armstrong. This is Neil Armstrong. And I remember the bell captain said, don't talk to him. Don't engage him. Just do your job. And I remember I put his golf clubs in his car, and I looked up into the face of Neil Armstrong, and he only gave me $1. And then recently I got to meet Buzz Aldrin, and I heard him speak. And Buzz is really cool. He's real spiritual, and he's got a beard and kind of long hair. It looks like he ought to be like here in Seattle, you know. And he was talking about when they landed on the moon. Something a lot of people don't know is the lunar module, the Eagle, overshot its landing spot and burned up all of its reserve fuel. And so then when they got there, of course, Neil Armstrong did the, one small step for man, one giant leap for mankind. Buzz Aldrin was the engineer and realized that the switch to engage the engines was broken. And they notified Houston. In fact, President Nixon had already he had his staffers write up a speech about how these great American heroes are going to die on the moon. Now, can you think of being more isolated and feeling more alone than being stuck on the moon? And the reason I bring this up is because when a loved one has died, like your mother-in-law, and like for all the listeners who are coping with the death of a loved one, it can make you feel stranded, abandoned, isolated, and alone. And it all came clear to me during this blood moon how alone and stranded Neil Armstrong and Buzz Aldrin must have felt. And Armstrong said to Buzz Aldrin, he goes, he said, Buzz, you got to fix this. and Buzz said, well, I have a plan. And Neil's like, well, what is it? He goes, see this big pen here? And he had this cheap big pen. He said, we got one shot, Neil. And he jammed it into the switch. And he pulled it up, and they heard a click, and then the engines ignited, and they're like, oh thank God.
Wow.
And what we all need to realize is that no matter how abandoned or isolated that you feel, you're never truly alone. Not only are your loved ones in spirit with you, but God is with you. And so these guys literally raised their vibration by getting the Eagle's engines to work. But all of us, when we are in that pit of despair and feeling abandoned and isolated and alone, turn to the higher power, turn to your belief system, raise your vibration, and realize that not even death can kill love.
I love it. Julie, thank you so much. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Wow. What a powerful call. Benny, I think we have time. We can go to the phones and chat with Cheryl.
Let's do it. Cheryl from Kent, welcome.
Hi, Cheryl. And by the way, everyone, 1-800-930-2819, because we're going another hour with Mark. Cheryl.
Hi. I was just hoping to talk with whoever wants to talk with me. I feel like maybe my mother-in-law wants to talk to me, but I don't know.
I want to talk with you. Oh, I don't count. Okay, all right.
This must be mother-in-law on the other side day. This is very cool. Okay. Hold on. I am getting a female coming through. Now, before we assume that this is your mother-in-law, let me describe her. What I'm getting with her is I am feeling this disease or this flow through my body, okay? And I'm feeling a lot of nausea. I'm also feeling that her body was either swollen. She either could have been obese or there was a lot of fluid retention and swelling. And I keep feeling...
Yes.
Okay, that makes sense? All right. So she's coming through, and I'm touching, or rather I'm feeling she's directing my attention to what would have been her breasts, and particularly the one on the left side, very tender, very swollen. And I'm also feeling my pancreas lighting up. Now, the pancreas can indicate pancreatitis, pancreatic cancer, or perhaps a diabetes. issue. Does this make any
Diabetes,
sense?
yeah.
Diabetes. Okay. All right. So we got your mother-in-law coming through, and I know this is going to sound corny, but I'm hearing, I got no strings to hold me down, to make me laugh, to make me frown. All right. And I see that image from the Disney Pinocchio movie. And animated.
She loved Disney.
She loved Disney. Bada bing,
Oh.
bada boom. Now, this is a multiple meaning message, too, because not only did she like Disney, but remember in that movie when Pinocchio jumps away from the strings, nothing holding him down? Guess what? The illnesses that were affecting her, holding her down, totally gone. Okay? And she's saying, if I knew you were coming, I'd have baked a cake. Baked a cake. Now, what that indicates to me when I hear that song is 3 weeks, either side of today, is a significant birthday, anniversary, or event connected to her, connected to you in any shape, form, or fashion. Does that make sense?
I don't know.
All right, you got to
I
write
can't think
that
of
one
anything
down.
other than coming up on Thanksgiving.
No. 3 weeks. 3 weeks, either side of today. Okay, significant
Either
birthdays,
side.
anniversaries, or event connected to her, connected to you, or someone close to you. Okay? This is one of those things
Well,
that
my sister's birthday was on Sunday.
does the word bada bing, bada boom make any sense?
Okay.
Okay. All right. So your sister, now what's your sister's connection with your mother-in-law?
She's my sister, so they just through me.
All right. So that's a yes. All right. But there's something else. There's something else coming up in about 2 weeks. Significant birthdays, anniversaries, or events, because she's focusing on that. All right. And also
2 weeks.
2 weeks. And I'm seeing Scorpio. So this is the Scorpio time frame. So she could be referencing somebody who is a Scorpio or a significant event within the Scorpio time frame, which ranges roughly from October 20th through November 20th. Now, we know there's an event coming up on Thanksgiving, but there's something in the Scorpio time frame. So I want you to think about that. And is there an Annie, like an Annie or again, like
Anne?
Anne? Who's Anne? Who's Anne?
And that's my sister.
Okay, so interesting. Your mother-in-law is really focusing a lot of attention on your sister. Now, even though they may not have had a necessarily close relationship, you got to realize that we can't limit a spirit by what he or she knew or did while they're here in this world, because on the other side they're connected to like the cosmic internet. So let me see what she wants you to know about your sister. Your sister feels like I'm getting from your mother-in-law, your sister's got a lot of turmoil going on in her life.
Yes.
Okay. And you know what? You're the life raft in the sea of turmoil. Okay. So you're there not to tell your sister what to do, but to be the life raft. Okay. To be the life raft. In other words, the rock that she can turn to and listen to. And please avoid the I told you so. Okay. Because your mother-in-law said that you're very well-intentioned, but you tend to get into the I told you so thing. Does this make sense?
I really tone it down, but in my head, maybe.
Okay, toning it down means you have a history of I told you so, and that's okay. I'm from an Italian family, so we really are into the I told you so. What do you mean you don't love me? You didn't eat 4 helpings of my lasagna. All right.
But I did eat 4 helpings of lasagna.
Yeah, my grandma's lasagna, I would eat it until I hurt, and even then, you don't love me. You
I
didn't
know.
eat 5.
Yeah.
Okay, sorry, Cheryl.
Wow.
Back to
Sorry,
you.
Cheryl.
Back to you.
No
All right, Novocaine. Are you or your sister having any dental work or somebody close to you? Because I'm feeling Novocaine.
I need dental work.
So does the word yes come to mind?
I'm putting it off. Maybe that's why she's mentioning it.
You think? And the reason she's mentioning that is because by putting it off, you're going to need a heck of a lot more Novocaine. In other words, by putting it off, you're not making the situation better because I'm feeling an abscess forming. All right. So the thing is, Cheryl, your mother-in-law loves you very much. She's very invested in your well-being and your health, and she wants you to get this dental work and not put it off. Okay. And that's why she's giving me this event within 3 weeks, either side of today, and there's something coming up. You've got to get this taken care of, because if you wait until the Scorpio time frame, like by October 20th and later, your situation is going to deteriorate. Okay?
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So don't do that. Okay. Get this taken care of. Hold on. Is there a Sherry? I know you're Cheryl, but I'm hearing like Sherry or Sherry.
Not that I can think of.
All right, write down.
I mean, there's somebody on the other side of the family that's not very close.
Name Sherry?
I mean, her side of the family, yeah, but not very close.
Okay, in other words, what's happening is I'm picking up the other side is a collective consciousness, and which is another concept that I explain in great detail in Evidence of Eternity. And so what this indicates is that your mother-in-law is over there with Sherry, okay? Is there a Benjamin?
Cindy, maybe?
Benjamin. I keep hearing Benjamin. I know we got a Benny here in the studio, but I'm getting Benjamin.
Not that I'm aware of.
Okay, write that down because there is a Benjamin over there with your mother-in-law. So I'll leave that with you.
Wow.
Okay.
How does that?
Okay.
Are you good to go? What do you think?
Yeah, I'm really wondering about Benjamin.
Yeah.
I'll have to think on that.
Yeah, and in the meantime, instead of worrying about Benjamin, call your dentist.
Okay.
Well, here's the thing: you're by putting this dental work off, I'm feeling an abscess forming, and this is all coming from your mother-in-law, and this is going to be really, really bad if you put this off. You've got to get this taken care of. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So God bless you.
Thank
Cheryl.
you. Thank you, Cheryl.
Thank you.
Nice day.
Yeah, and when you think about Benjamin, don't just think of a person by that name. You know, like think about the movie Private Benjamin or something like that, right? Or like Benjamin Franklin, right? Other Benjamins, because Benjamin is not like a Benny. It's like a formal name. You get what I'm saying, Cheryl?
Well, I'm thinking of somebody who went to Iraq.
What? Who, do you know somebody that did that?
Yes.
Who was that?
My daughter's boyfriend.
And what was his name?
Dylan.
So do you know a Benjamin?
No, not that I'm aware of.
Okay. Well, there you go. You're going to ponder that for about, I don't know, maybe 1 week, 2 weeks or something. But I know you'll get it.
Or who knows? Maybe
You'll
your dentist is Dr. Benjamin.
Yeah.
You never know.
Yeah. You don't know. Or maybe, what is Ben Franklin on? What bill
100.
is on
$100 bill.
100? Oh, sorry.
I'm not going to forget that.
Yeah.
I want more in my life.
Yeah, there we go. Thank you so much for calling in. Thank you. And, can you tell folks again how they can find out more about you, how they can get a copy of the book, and how about the event? Go ahead. Go for it.
All right. My website, evidenceofeternity.com. You can find out about my book, Evidence of Eternity, and my first book, Never Letting Go. And I will be signing copies of both my books this Friday night. Rocky, can you tell everyone where?
Yes, at the East West Books. This is, and for tickets, 206-523-3726. 206-523-3726. And that's on 6407 12th Avenue Northeast in Seattle, 7:30 p.m. Friday evening.
Absolutely. And Jessica, Linda, and whoever's calling in, don't hang up. We got another hour of the show with Mark Anthony. Before we do, can we tell folks how they can get a copy of the book? They can get it anywhere, right?
Yes. Of course, East West Books are carrying it, but at any fine bookstore, Barnes & Noble, or Amazon.com, Walmart.com, any of the fine bookstores near you.
Evidence of Eternity, Communicating with Spirits, the Proof of the Afterlife. And, as Mark is talking with all of y'all calling in, we are referencing parts of the book, parts of the conversation that, if you were in a room with Mark, this would be the conversation you'd be having with him. Because what he's been able to do is he's been able to take life's experience, the people that he's worked with, whether it's police, whether it's, having to do with murder, whatever that is. And he's highlighted it in a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful way. So many stories in this book. I was especially touched by, the story about Jana. And so there are many stories in here that I know most of us can relate to. For those of you out there, we're going to take a short break. We're not going anywhere. Mark is not going anywhere. Please do not hang up if you are in the queue on the phones. We're just going to go out and then we're going to come right back in. We'll be right back with the Dr. Pat Show.